Across many parts of Nigeria, farmers can no longer tend to their fields without fear, and herders are increasingly viewed with suspicion. Year after year, communities are torn apart by clashes over land and grazing routes, leaving behind grief, displacement, and destroyed livelihoods. In response, the federal government introduced the National Livestock Transformation Plan, promoting ranching as a way to end open grazing and reduce these deadly conflicts. The idea is simple: modernize livestock production, settle herders, and foster peace. But for many, ranching remains misunderstood, seen as either a land grab, a northern agenda, or just another government promise. Meanwhile, the human cost continues to rise. Nigeria loses billions of naira annually, with thousands killed and hundreds of thousands displaced due to farmer-herder clashes and communal violence. So this morning we ask, is ranching truly the solution or just a half measure? Joining us via Zoom from the ancient commercial city of Kano in northwest Nigeria to unpack this is a man deeply rooted in both science and community solutions, Dr. Hakeem Ajigbe, also known as Dukaji Seriki Ari, a leading crop livestock integration expert and research and grant manager at the Center for Dryland Agriculture, Bayero University in Kano. With decades of field experience, over 200 publications, and recognition from farmers, youth groups, and traditional institutions, he brings both expertise and heart to this discussion. Dr. Ajigbe, thank you for joining us, and let us dive in.
Thank you very much. Good morning.
Yes, good morning. Thank you for joining us. All right, when it comes to ranching, the biggest question is that the solution to these clashes that we are having? Because at the end of the day, when you say ranching, the average Nigerian would not understand the intricacies of it. So would you break down how it is going to work and, you know, the way forward in it helping out in these intercommunal clashes when it comes to, you know, herder-farmer clashes?
Thank you very much. To just give a first straight answer, ranching is not the solution. Now, we also have to describe or define what we mean by ranching. I mean, if you look at ranching in the sense of ranching, the way they practice it, say in Argentina, Brazil, or in the US, you need hundreds and thousands of hectares of land. Do we have that available in Nigeria? The simple answer is no. We don't have that kind of land. But the truth of the matter is the nomadic livestock rearing is not sustainable. It's archaic. It needs to be stopped. This is the fact. Now, let's maybe learn from the crop farming. Majority of the food we eat in the country is produced by small, medium, older crop farmers, not by farmers with large hectarage. In fact, in Nigeria, large hectarage may mean 20 hectares, 30 hectares, which is even small hectarage in Europe, in America, or in South America. Now, the average land holding, depending on the location, is about 1 hectare to maybe 3 or 4 hectares. Now, can we do that with livestock? And the answer is yes. So first, we need to settle these nomadic areas. But we must recognize that the culture that is hundreds of years old cannot be stopped in 1 year, in 2 years, in 3 years, not even in 5 years. Now, we have to engage them. and maybe have a plan of stopping this in the next 15 years, 20 years, or 30 years. And it has to be a gradual process. If we remember that when we started introducing fertilizer to crop farmers, almost all of them will collect the fertilizer free, and the moment the extension agent or whoever development agent that brought the fertilizer leaves, they throw it away. So it took time before they accept it. The same thing is what will happen with the cattle rearers. It will take time, but we really have to engage, because the delay is dangerous. The more we delay, the more we'll have these skirmishes, these violence between and among the nomadic rearers and the crop farmers. So this is the issue. Now, when you look at countries in the world where crop production has improved, it's commensurate with livestock productivity. So why is Nigeria different? If you go to India, you find that more than 90% of the feed of the livestock, cattle, sheep, and goats, it is from crop residue. Crop residue. I did a depth review, I think about 2 years ago, and it's amazing. I found out that if we pick all of the ruminants, when I mean ruminants, I'm talking about the cattle, sheep, goat, camel, even donkey, horse in this country, vis-a-vis the total crop residue that is produced in this country. If we had to feed those ruminants with only crop residue, and even the crop residue, it was limited to, say, sorghum, millet, rice, wheat, soybean, groundnut, cowpea, and sesame. You will not believe it, that they need only about 60 to 65%, which means that we have enough feed. So, my brothers, sisters, why are we fighting? Why do we have the challenges? Why do we have these skirmishes between the crop farmers and the livestock farmer? It's just about management. We're not managing ourselves, because the main thing is resource control, feed. Those guys are looking for feed. It's not as if they intentionally go and just be grazing. They are looking for feed. And then more and more, we are using land for some other things other than agriculture. So the land available for agriculture is actually on decline, while the population of both human and livestock is on the rise. So it means from the declining land, we must produce enough to feed human and the livestock population, if we are not to have food insecurity, as well as all these challenges of clashes we are having. So this is the issue.
All right. Thank you very much, Doctor, there for that.
You want me to continue, or you have some other questions?
Moving on. Can you hear me? All right. You've made mention about ranching and explaining what ranching is, but from your field of experience, how realistic is large-scale ranching possible? How realistic is it in Nigeria at this point in time? We know how Nigerians hold their lands and they see it as ancestral heritage. Other countries do. We have Australia, we have other countries that are practicing ranching. But in Nigeria at this point in time, how realistic is it? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I don't know whether you heard me.
Okay, I'm asking, how realistic is large-scale ranching in Nigeria at this point in time?
Well, in some locations, unfortunately, the locations where it is feasible are the locations where we have challenges of banditry. I mean, in some of the states where we still have land, maybe like Zamfara State, for example, maybe part of Katsina State, maybe some part of Niger State, Yobe State, the few states that we have land mass, it is feasible. But remember, even for that, it's going to be small scale. We're talking of maybe a few hundreds of hectares. But when you look at ranches, the way it's practiced in other parts of the world, we're talking about several hundreds of thousands of hectares. That is definitely not feasible in Nigeria. But in some areas, it's feasible. But what we really need to do is, can we do small scale livestock keeping settled, where you have maybe the maximum of 50 animals? Even on 1 hectare, you get crop residue, you get industrial byproducts, and give to these animals. If you have land, you can do some forage, plant some forage. It's feasible. It can be modernized totally. It's feasible, but not the large scale ranching that people read in the books or you watch in films. No. Are we together?
Okay.
Oh shit.
All right, we can hear you clearly. You said it is visible. Okay, now moving on from that now, since it's visible, do you think it has a tendency of reducing farmers' herders clashes?
Of course, any practice that will settle the nomadic livestock keeper will reduce that farmer herders clashes. But one way to do is, can we, instead of moving from Kano to Lagos or from Sokoto to Port Harcourt, can these farmers move in a maybe 15, 20 kilometer, 30 kilometer radius, so that they know the farmer knows them, and then they interact. When they interact, actually crop livestock integration is the key. That is the key, crop livestock integration. The crop farmers will give them crop residue. The livestock farmers will give manure. This is the thing. And once they know one another, they will trade. And instead of having clashes, they will be doing business together. And everybody will progress. This is the key. But anything that will make them settle or reduce the distance that they travel will reduce these clashes, definitely. Because when you have I've interacted with a lot of farmers, crop farmers, I've interacted with a lot of livestock in these cattle areas. When you check, those who are semi-settled, they will not graze the crop of the farmers in those areas, because they know the farmers. The farmer knows them. Those one who do the grazing are the one who are really brave nomadic, move long distance. Unfortunately, by the time they leave, the crop farmer comes and any cattle rearer he sees is the culprit. This is the problem. Remember, those cattle rearers, they are also facing a lot of challenges. I mean, many of them are moving more and more to the southern area where there are more, I would say, there's more rainfall. One of the things that is causing this problem is actually climate change. The northern Sudan area is getting drier. So there is less vegetation, there is less feed for the livestock. So they move more towards the Guinea savanna, where land is less plentiful. So that clash is going to be natural. Where land is less plentiful. Again, in those Sudan savanna where land is plentiful, there are a lot of challenges in terms of banditry, cattle rustling. When we talk about banditry, that's one area we always forget. These guys also do a lot of cattle rustling. So these farmers, nomadic farmers, are also being affected. Many of them, their animals have also been taken, stolen, their wives have been raped, their children kidnapped, all kind of challenges. They are also facing it. It's not as if they're animals. They're human beings like us, like me and you. So we really need to engage them to settle or semi-settle. But it will take time for them to really settle completely. But either they like it, they don't like it, and sometimes in future they will have to settle. But we have to assist them now. This is the time to start assisting them to semi-settle. And maybe now assist them also to even acquire land. 1 hectare, 2 hectare, talk with other farmers, the crop farmers, so that they can buy a lot of crop residue. We have technologies now to process crop residue to make it available to livestock, the ruminants. We have technologies, for example, that we have been demonstrating with elk press, that animals will eat 100% of the crop residue. 100%, not the 10 to 20% they are eating now. They will eat 100%. So if we bring a lot of this on board, the feed is available. As I said, feed is the issue and is available. So it's just about managing ourselves.
All right. So if ranching is properly executed, will it be able to contribute to Nigeria's economic growth?
Can you repeat yourself?
I said, if ranching is properly executed, will it be able to contribute to Nigeria's economic growth?
Definitely. It will not only contribute to it, it will also contribute to job creation. It will definitely contribute to job creation. It will modernize livestock keeping. It can assist in improving or modernizing the value chain of livestock. I mean, I've seen a couple of butchers who are practicing modern butchery, and you find you go to their shop by 11 o'clock, meat is finished. A lot of people now are wise, and they have the economic ability to buy these so-called, and maybe it's with a fact, quality meat and all these products at a higher price. They go to it. So now, what are our challenges in the country? Job is number one. Youth unemployment, and a lot of people they are looking to agriculture. It is not this subsistence, archaic, traditional agriculture that will provide that job. No. For agriculture has the potential to provide job, yes, but it has to be modernized. It has to be agriculture with processing. All these graduates, people with OND, NCE and co, this semi-skill, that is the area we will employ them in the processing, in the value chain, not the oil and cutlass agriculture or the nomadic cattle rearing. No, but if it's a bit of ranching, a small permanent training urban dairy, you will have a lot of these graduates, and then we contribute to the GDP. Is a scandalous that the livestock contribution to even agricultural GDP is about 15 to 20%. Livestock should contribute a minimum of 45% to agricultural GDP of this country. If not even 50-50, as crop is doing 50, livestock should be doing 50. But right now it's less than 20%. So this is scandalous.
All right. So what would it take? What would it cost to, open up ranches in Nigeria? What kind of policies do we need? Who do we need to be the players in this game? From the government to the private sectors, what role would all of these people play, and how much would it cost? What are the policies we need? What are the kind of willpower we need to ensure that ranching kickstarts in Nigeria?
You see, the unfortunate thing in this country is we always look to the federal government. But you see, the truth, agriculture is practiced in the communities, in local government and state. Somebody cannot stay in Abuja and tell me he knows what I will do in Bagwe. But my local government chairman in Bagwe, my governor in Kano, will know better than anybody in Abuja. Or if I'm in Potiskum, somebody cannot be in Abuja and tell me he knows what I will. So the problem starts from the local government and the state. Now we should give credit that the present regime is trying to make the local government strong. And part of the challenge we have is the local government has been castrated, emasculated. You go to local government, 10 o'clock, you don't see anybody. Maybe the day they are collecting salary, you see them. But any other day, you don't see anybody. So now this is where we need to start. The local government knows what they have, comparative advantage, and what they want to do. The land also is there. So we need the entrepreneurs, the private sectors to be linked to both the local government and the state government. It needs to be a policy right from the state. And then the federal is just to support whatever the state will want to do, because the state and the local government know better, much more better than what the federal can, in terms of the comparative advantage of what they want and what they can do. So it has to be a PPP, but the lead to me are the states and local government, not even the federal. Federal will do policy and maybe policy, maybe in terms of financing, things like that, opportunity for export, can we support you with processing, that kind of things. But then it is somebody who went down and carry the box that you can easily assist to lift it. But if somebody is standing, how do you put the box on his head? It's not. This is the issue.
All right. Thank you very much, Professor. I believe you've thrown a couple of lights, But a quick question now: if ranching, like you said, could be half a measure, what else should Nigeria practice in our agricultural sector that could achieve lasting peace between farmers and herders?
Yes. Number one, and the most important, and it's urgent, is we need to start engaging with these nomadic farmers, encouraging them to settle. If your people have been encouraging them to settle, I mean, our grazing reserve, all the grazing reserve in the country, there's no grazing reserve that has not been encouraged. And we'll get them, let us know the land available in those grazing reserves, and we settle some of these farmers here, give them incentive, they should invest. We have to tell them to invest. Because when they invest, that they will know. Or we have to assist them to do this investment. Let them semi-settle and then reduce the sizes. If you have 100 cows and only 80 are productive, for God's sake, why are you keeping 100? Get rid of the other 20. You will be more in terms of productivity. It will go up if you have only that 80. We are not really now. We have the federal minister of Livestock. I think the state should also do similar, but we need to engage with them more. There are a lot of talk. Many of them are from outside the country. That may be true, but what percentage? I can tell you that more than 80% have been roaming around in this country for millennia. So it's just maybe like 10 to 20% that are coming from outside. Meanwhile, some of the ones here also sometimes even go outside. So we need to engage them to start settling. Maybe we have a 20 or 30 years plan that in 30 years, it will all settle. And then they have small land, just like we have the small scale crop farmers videos. It will be small scale ranch or whatever we call it that will be feeding us crop livestock integration. They will be also cropping. They will have maybe 1 to 2 hectares of crop land. Their livestock are indoor throughout. They get the residue, buy some concentrate, get industrial byproduct, feed the animals. The animals that trek 100 kilometers will have burned a lot of those energy. You give it the same feed that the one that didn't trek. The one that did not trek will be more productive. Those animals also suffer. Moving from one place to another, looking for water, looking for feed is not available. People burn the grasses now. They also stop burning because of the climate. So these are the things that we really need to do. We have to start, just like we were doing with crop first, giving them fertilizer, giving improved varieties of crops, taking them to financial institution, training them. This is what we need to do with the stock. Okay, we need to engage them, teach them to have land. If they should buy, it should be free. Let them buy, let them so that they can appreciate that investment. Train them when I settle, feed is going to be a problem. How do you use crop residue? Where do you get crop residue? Where do you store crop residue? We increase the productivity. In some cases, if they have dairy animals, can we upgrade the dairy animals by doing maybe artificial insemination? Upgrade them? These are the kind of things we really need to do, and it's feasible. But state governments, the states are to take lead, not federal. I don't agree. And luckily, agriculture, I think, is in the state. And that is where it is. State and local government. We must make our local government strong, especially for agriculture. It is necessary for local government to be strong, both for agriculture and security. There is a lot of vacuum in the local government, and because of that vacuum, all unruly people are feeling it. There's a beautiful we have in this country.
All right, thank you very much, Doctor. For creating our time to join us on the show this morning. Thank you for sharing your insights and your thoughts with us this morning.
Thank you very much. It's my pleasure. Thank you.